So, let me give you a little introduction to what you're looking at. What you're looking at is a Plex Talk Pocket. And for those of you who have been members or subscribers of mine for several years, you know what this is. For those of you who do not, I'll explain. For those of you who are new subscribers, because I know I've gotten a few new subscribers as of late, this device is an audio book player, but you'll notice that it doesn't have a screen. This is an audio book player designed specifically for people who are blind, or myself who have low vision and have difficulty reading print as a result. Before using portable digital talking book players, which is what their official designation is, this is a portable digital talking book player, I would use big, bulky cassette players. If you Google C1 cassette book machine, that's basically what I used. These new players are much more convenient. You can quickly jump around your book. You can do all sorts of great stuff. Now, I started out with the Plex Talk Pocket, and almost a few months after, I immediately returned it. Why did I return it? Well, I was returning it for an exchange unit, and the exchange unit was going to take almost a month to get back to us. Excuse me. What was wrong with it in the first place? Well, what was wrong with it was the player was literally, I think there must have been a short in the connectors for the battery, because at random times the player would just shut off. No audio alert, no nothing. And remember, this doesn't have a screen, so if you can't see at all, I can see the lights if I get close enough. These little let me zoom in here. You're not going to be able to see this, but I will. So let me move my arrow here. Right here. This little power light here, and we have a battery light over here. This power light indicates that it's on. If I get close enough, I can see that. Well, this light would just go out. The player would just die. Okay? The player would just die. And what really made this bad is it would not only die, it would die during a recording. And let me paint a picture for you. I was working on my undergraduate degree. I bring this digital talking book player recorder into the classroom that I'm assigned to in order to get an audio recording to complete an assignment. Okay? The player cuts off literally almost after, I think it was either halfway through or almost all the way through the recording. I lost everything. I was never able to stop the recording, so it never got saved. And if the instructor was not so generous in letting me come back to redo it, I would not have passed that particular assignment. So after an experience like that, I decided, okay, I'm getting something else. And for those of you who are interested in what I ended up replacing the Pocket with, if you take a look at a video below this one called BookSense XT, it's 2 below this one, that's what I replaced it with. So I've had the BookSense for several years, and I am actually considering making a switch. Why? Because the BookSense, the people at HIMSS have released firmware version 3.0. Ever since then, my BookSense has been acting a little bit weird, and the thing is out of warranty. That's the worst part about it. The thing is out of warranty. So what am I thinking about replacing it with? Certainly not this Plex Talk Pocket again. What is this? You may notice that the two devices look incredibly alike. This is the BookPort Plus from the American Printing House for the Blind. But let's take a look at this. Take a look at the BookPort Plus. Now take a look at the Plex Talk Pocket. Let's move back to the BookPort Plus. So why are the two devices pretty much the same thing? Well, that's because the American Printing House for the Blind, APH, has contracted with the people at Plex Talk, Shinano Kenshi of Japan, to make this. This is a Plex Talk Pocket with APH firmware on board and a number of enhancements over the regular Pocket. What enhancements are they? Well, for one thing, you can actually enter, believe it or not, this device has a notepad of sorts. For those of you on a Macintosh, it's just like TextEdit. For those of you on Windows, it's just like Notepad. You can actually go in and create text notes and save them and edit them on a computer. You can put text notes onto an SD card and bring it over to the BookPort Plus for editing. They've really thought of the needs of a student or a professional who is blind or has low vision, because they've been around for a long time, and they've always served the needs of blind students and professionals. You may also have noticed between the Plex Talk and the BookPort Plus that the control layouts varied. The control layout has varied because you've got a number of different changes in the way you navigate. The up and down arrows here, I believe, control the speed of playback, and they don't do that on the Plex Talk Pocket. One of the things about the BookPort Plus and the Pocket, you may not be able to tell them, if you can't see it all, you may not be able to tell them apart physically, but once you turn them on, you get a different voice, you get a different user interface. It's like having two versions of the iPhone, and one of them runs Apple's operating system, and one of them has been hacked to run Android. Now, under the hood, they're both running Windows, but with the user interface over the top, they are very, very different products. Both players can record DAISY files, which means that you can record and have very structured navigation. Both players have wireless on board. And an advantage with APH over Plex Talk, I believe, is that they're trying to start, the last I heard, and this was a couple years ago, was that they were looking at starting their own streaming media service. I don't know if they've managed to get into that. I haven't been keeping up on the list. I just recently got back onto the list. Another feature that the BookPort Plus has over the Plex Talk Pocket is everybody nowadays has a smartphone. Nowadays, what do you do with your phone? You don't completely power it off, do you? Because chances are your phone is also your pocket computer. Chances are you let it go to sleep, right? The BookPort Plus can do the same thing. The Plex Talk Pocket cannot. The BookPort Plus, what happens is you let it sit for 2 minutes and it'll go to sleep, just like your cell phone. You hit a button, boom. No need to wait for the device to power up again or anything like that. Now, regarding the keypad here, like I said, there are some differences. 1 and 3 navigate backward and forward 5 seconds. 4 and 6. Now, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, so if anybody does, feel free to point them out in the comments. But I believe it's like 1 and 3 is 5 seconds, 4 and 6 is 1 minute, 7 and 9 is 10 minutes. So it's very, very easy to get around. Or I'm sorry, 4 and 6 is 5 minutes. 7 and 9 will actually move backward and forward through an element. What is an element? Things like paragraphs, chapters. You cycle through that with key number 8. I do not believe that's available on the Plex Talk Pocket. And also, when it comes to text entry, 1, 4, 7, and 3, 6, and 9, those turn into a braille cell. So you not only have the ability to enter text with as you would on a cell phone, because I'm pretty quick, with texting on a keypad. But if you're willing to give what they call thumb braille a shot, then by all means go ahead and use it. The BookPort Plus can also charge over I think I mentioned that it can charge over USB. So this is a really nice little product, and for $329, it's not bad. Now, for those of you who have been listening to this for the last several minutes, you're probably thinking, well, sounds like you made up your mind, right? Not exactly, and I'll explain why. There's more to this than just the features. There's also the voice. For those of you who are not familiar with this technology, having to listen to electronic speech for a long time can really make you subjective about what voice you can hear, what voice you use. I'm going to give you a little sample here of what the BookPort Plus sounds like when reading a book or a text file. Let me turn this up so you can hear it.
Introduction. BookPort Plus is a portable, digital talking book player recorder. It represents the latest generation of special media playback and recorder devices. Its small size, quality recordings, and unique capabilities make it an ideal replacement for older technology like cassette players, bulky digital talking book players, or inaccessible commercial digital recorders.
So I'm going to stop it there. So you've heard what the speech sounds like. It's also the same thing on the Plex Talk Pocket. So why haven't I decided? Well, I'm also looking very closely at this. This is the second generation VictorReader Stream. And the VictorReader Stream has a couple of things that the Plex Talk Pocket, the BookPort Plus does not. For one thing, both have wireless, both can charge over USB. The VictorReader Stream actually has the ability to update the firmware over Wi-Fi. This is the first book player to do this. That's number one. Number two is I've used Humanware products in the past and haven't had any issues with them as far as reliability is concerned. In fact, my NLS player, for those of you who are curious, I have a video up on that, NLS Digital Talking Book Player. The people at Humanware that produced this device also produced the software for the library's new digital talking book player. Now, you're thinking, well, you have a BookSense, you have an NLS player, what's the difference? I mean, why would you want another one? Well, like I said, the BookSense has been acting up, and the biggest thing that's been frustrating me as of late is just having to pull the battery on a what I was worried was going to become a regular basis. I haven't had to do it as of late, but I had to pull the battery like 3 or 4 times. And the device is out of warranty. Both of these things really bother me. So you've just heard the device speak, the BookPort Plus and Plex Talk Pocket speak. What about the VictorReader Stream? This is another reason why I'm undecided. I'm going to play what is essentially the same text that the other voice read. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but this is what it sounds like with the speech that's going to be available on the VictorReader Stream. Let me just, all right, there we go.
Introduction. BookPort Plus is a portable digital talking book player / recorder. It represents the latest generation of special media playback and recorder devices.
So I'm not going to, obviously I didn't type in the whole thing, but you get the idea. You've heard the exact same thing read from the BookPort Plus and the VictorReader Stream. So the Stream also, from what I understand, has better battery life at 15 hours. Okay? It does not have the enhanced recording features, however. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is the National Library Service has a great selection of books, but it's not the be-all, end-all the be-all, end-all for digital talking books. There's another place you can get them. This website, bookshare.org. Bookshare.org is similar to the National Library Service, except you pay for your membership unless you're a student. If you're a student, you can get it for free, but they have to have proof that you're receiving services. You either, if you're a K through 12 student, you can be entered by your vision teacher, or if you're in higher ed, you need to give them information regarding your university. They'll contact your institution and say, hey, is John Smith receiving services? And if the answer is yes, then you can go ahead and get books from Bookshare. Now, what is the advantage of Bookshare over the National Library Service? Selection. I've noticed that with Bookshare, now the NLS is getting better, but when it comes to selection, Bookshare has been, at least for me, out on top. Now, I am a major Bookshare subscriber. I've been downloading books from Bookshare for several years. Now, I took a bit of a hiatus for about a year or two, but I've gotten back into it recently. Now, what's so critical about Bookshare? Well, what's so critical is, let's hear these voices again.
Introduction. BookPort Plus is a portable, digital talking book player recorder. It represents the latest generation of special media playback and recorder devices.
Okay, so again, that's the BookPort Plus. That's this one. That's the BookPort Plus, as well as the Plextalk Pocket. And I'm going to play again the voice on the stream.
Introduction. BookPort Plus is a portable digital talking book player/recorder. It represents the latest generation of special media playback and recorder devices.
Now, the way I look at it, Acapella Heather is her name versus Nuance Samantha. Heather blows Samantha out of the water when it comes to these types of books. Now, why exactly is that important? Well, I just showed you the Bookshare website. The Bookshare website, the way these books work is, with the NLS, they actually have somebody sit down and professionally, they will read the book from beginning to end, put in some inflection. For instance, if anybody is a member of the National Library Service and they have not read Harry Potter, you need to. Bookshare, on the other hand, what they do is they take your book and literally rip it up. They need to get the publisher's permission to do this, but they rip the book up. They get a copy of the book, they rip it up and scan it in page by page by page. So what it is a modified text file with some special navigational elements that are essentially similar to HTML. But that electronic speech that you just heard reads those books. And when it comes to having heard that for a long period of time, that can be very subjective. So, why exactly am I still on the fence? You may be thinking, well, wait a moment, that voice is far superior, and if you have a lot of Bookshare books, it would be a no-brainer. I tend to read every single day now. I'm in the middle of a couple of books, and I like the idea of the instant on capability of the BookPort Plus, and it's also $50 cheaper. Both devices charge over USB. Both devices take up to a 32 gig Wi-Fi card. Both devices have wireless connectivity. You can get onto your wireless network. You can wirelessly transfer books, and they've got software. The BookPort Plus is available with software for Windows and for the Macintosh. I have yet to see whether or not the VictorReader Stream has software, but last I checked, their companion software, which they used to ship, I don't know if they will anymore, but for the first generation Stream, the software that they shipped was Windows only. So as far as being on the ball with making sure everything works in multiple environments, APH is definitely out on the forefront. The other thing is battery life. The BookPort Plus does have the ability to switch on and off. You can just, again, you let it go to sleep, and you could hit, say, the 5 key. It'll wake up, and you can get back to where it's practically instantaneous. However, that does drain the battery quite a bit. The VictorReader Stream has a max reading time of 15 hours. The BookPort Plus has a max reading time of, I don't know. But if it's anything like the PlexTalk Pocket, I'm going to say about 10. And I think that might be, it feels like it's about the same for the BookSense, but I've had the BookSense for several years, so I'm not sure. The battery might be getting depleted. So besides the extra voices, what else does the Victor Stream have over the BookPort Plus? In my experience with Humanware products, they've always been extremely reliable. Now, it should be noted that when I got the PlexTalk Pocket, it was the first generation. It had literally just come out, probably a couple weeks before I got it. And as I understand it, that major power bug has long since been fixed, and from what excuse me. And from what I understand, isn't even present in the BookPort Plus. But I would like some opinions and some thoughts on this. My birthday is next week, and I'm definitely going to be putting one of these on my list. But what do you guys think? I'm really interested excuse me, in the productivity potential for the BookPort Plus. Yet I'm wondering if I could stand Samantha reading to me for several hours, because Heather's a much better voice. But the VictorReader Stream comes at a cost, and that cost is you get better battery life, but you lose some productivity options. For instance, the Victor Stream cannot record in DAISY, and the Victor Stream, as far as I know, cannot edit text files. You can read them, but the BookPort Plus, as far as I know, is the only device that can actually edit them. Excuse me. And I don't know. I'm always one of the reasons I got the Galaxy Note 2 was, again, for the productivity aspect. Over iOS, I was able to edit text files in Android. So anything that has a boost in productivity is always a plus. But I'm a little afraid to go with this hardware again. It's 12:00 a.m. I'm a little bit afraid to go with this hardware again because of the issues that I've had with this one, particularly with the turnaround time. If they had managed to get me a new unit within about a week, I would have been happy. But this unit is the PlexTalk Pocket in particular is shipping globally. The BookPort Plus is only shipping in the United States. Excuse me. So, for those of you who have experienced both of these products, I'd like some advice. I'd like to have my list in to people by the end of the week. So if anybody has any suggestions, send them my way. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.